Welcome to Tran Plays Crimson Tactics. We're going to go with the easiest settings possible. Tactics mode. It gives us a micro tactics and a streamlined experience. I don't actually know what the differences are. We have macro strategy and original experience. Now you may say that's difficulty mode. However, through some minor testing, I've seen that if I pick story mode, the enemy levels are lower than ours, and if I pick nightmare mode, the enemy levels are higher than ours. So that's the difficulty setting. You can also have automatic, where the game will fluctuate your difficulty based off of how well you perform. I don't really care for all those pops in bottom.
Halt! Reveal yourself and state your affairs.
It is I, Duke Bjorn Rolf, that have come to speak with His Majesty, King Edrich Alwyn. Open the gates.
Your Grace, this hour. Your Grace, we received no word of your...
It is imperative that I speak with His Majesty at this very moment. Your feeble minds need not fathom the urgency of the matter.
Yes, of course. I want your Grace. Draw the bridge! Your Grace, is something the matter?
You have served your motherland well.
Your Grace! Intruder! Raise the alarm!
The game says conflict arises, and that's for every battle. The thing is there's going to be lots of conflicts within this one castle. I think conflict in this case is misused. It can imply a larger scale battle rather than just one skirmish. Welcome to Crimson Tactics, The Rise of the White Banner, an RPG with a turn-based tactical battle system. People in the Steam forums have mentioned that White Banner tends to denote surrender. And unfortunately, the developers have said that it's essentially gone too far for them to change that part of the game. So I'm guessing elements of the game that have already been put in, they're not going to go ahead and revise unless it's game mechanics. That's just my assumption on this after reading their forums. Every conflict has objectives that will appear at the beginning. It's generally going to be vanquish the enemy. At the bottom left, we have health points, mana points, and tactical points. Hit points represents units' life. If they run out of it, it is killed after 3 turns. Additionally, for non-story characters, there's going to be 3 hearts at the bottom. Every time they get knocked out, they will lose a heart and then they'll die forever. So there's 2 ways they can die. Either 3 turns in a single battle or all their hearts deplete. MP represents magical stamina, which can be used for spells. TP represents tactical points, which can be used for abilities. There are 4 diamonds, and I feel that this is kind of meaningless. Only because this is their class right here on the right. You can generally see their class by looking at their portrait. So I think instead of that, they should be something else, such as what weapon they're using. The weapon they're using does not necessarily follow the portrait. You'll see that as we move on and see more characters. The level, that's fine, though it doesn't need a diamond. It could be something like Knight Commander, level 75. On the left is the actual only useful information. This is his element. Duke Bjorn is blessed with the ice affinity. So right here, we're looking at ice. On the bottom is mount. We're not currently mounted, and we'll be covering that in the 3rd battle. We can do move, action, or in turn. We can do action then move, or move then action, and then finally in turn. Move allows it to change its position. No duh. Alright, that's telling me that I can just left click somewhere and then cancel it if I wish to with right mouse button. It wants me to move adjacent to the enemy. And then we're going to attack. The current unit that I have, Bjorn, he can do a broadsword, he can do a sweeping strike. I will tell you right now, let me zoom in. If I were standing right here at this corner and attacked from behind, that would still count as a flanking strike or sideways strike. It would not give me the full bonus from attacking behind. So right now I get a 92% chance to hit, and I'm going to do an expected 333 damage. He blocked that, and that's actually random. Finally, in turn. Use it, and then pick a direction. It says here absorb. I would say that as far as RPG tactics mechanics goes, when you say absorb, it generally represents you deflecting or not taking that damage. we're going to go ahead and actually we're going to go and move to the back as usual, and we're just going to go ahead and swipe them. One of the things I don't like is while you can use the numbers and that's good, the numbers really change depending on what you have equipped or what options are there. Let's say that under action, I have, I don't know. Hold on, we'll cover that in a minute. Sorry. You can check the stats of your current unit, equipment, special abilities, magic spells, and condition. Click condition. Here we have status buff, fortified, increasing my vitality, which increases our defense. You can see our stats are very similar to Tactics Ogre. I've never played Final Fantasy Tactics. Well, no, I did start to play it, but then I got tired of grinding. My characters just healing themselves in the first battle, or a couple battles. I was going to get them all level 99. That's generally how I play these things. Anyways, I did play Tactics Ogre on this channel just recently, and the stats are very similar. The Steam description says it's based off of those two games. Here we have our equipment, Vandura, which is a two-handed weapon. Then just basic stuff. You can see WT right here. Once I hover back over it, that determines how fast I move. The lower the better. These orange wings indicate passive abilities. So we can see that we have offensive attacks will not hurt ally units if they are in a unit's attack range. This also counts towards our abilities, such as Umbral Impalement. The unit summons forth deadly spikes around itself, dealing magical damage to all units in its vicinity and inflicting breached. Then we have magic spells, which he doesn't currently allow me to cast any, even though he totally cast one at the drawbridge. Now we're going to go ahead and broadsword strike him. And then we're going to go ahead and intern. But yeah, depending on what you select at the time, button 2 will not always do the same thing as button 2. I know that sounds weird, but basically they have it on the left side instead of the bottom, like they would in XCOM games. They have it on the left side probably so they can have words go from left to right. Because if it was down here, it would extend quite a bit. However, the problem with this is these buttons will fluctuate depending on what is available. Let's say that somebody doesn't allow you to look at their condition. Then this button here will be missing and enable AI will be on 3. Right now, some of the options are grayed out, which leaves the menu somewhat static. But you can't always expect number 2 to do always the number 2 action.
What is this uproar outside?
We are under attack.
Under attack? How many assailants?
It is but one man. It is Duke Bjorn Rolf.
Absurd! You dare tarnish the Duke's good name in my presence!
Forgive me, Your Majesty, but I speak the truth. His Grace announced himself at the gates, and the guards allowed him passage. As baffling as it is, he began slaughtering the knights and fought his way into the bailey.
Very well. Leaving those who defend the bailey, assemble the remainder of the Kingsguard here for our last stand.
Forgive me, Your Majesty. I fail to understand your command. His Grace is strong, no doubt, but we outnumber him with ease.
Both you and Bjorn have been part of my royal council for years. I'm aware that you contemplate the same as I do. Being well aware of our numbers, would he truly raid us alone? And I believe you are right. This is no simple intrusion, Commander, but a siege. His play will unfold as he reaches here.
Then I must advise you against your command to vacate White Pyre while we hold them here. Forgive my insolence, Your Majesty, but your life is in immense danger.
No, I shall not cower away from a traitor. On my honor and oath as the King of Wendalle, I shall stand and fight for my people. Go, call your men here. Let us prepare as best we can.
Very well, if Your Majesty desires so. It will be our honor to fight beside you in battle once more. Stand down, Your Grace. As compelling as your strength might be, you are but one man against our numbers. We shall cut you down if you refuse to surrender. What? As expected, the King's Guard is rather dull. Perhaps you would fare better in battle if you sharpened your senses, and not your mere pride. Perhaps, but belittle not our pride, for it comes from the honor and sheer joy of serving a king as noble as ours. We shall protect his majesty, even if it forfeits our own lives. Let not the intruders leave alive, to the last man! So futile.
I don't like the objective takes a while to get to the next section. Almost always is going to be vanquish the enemy. We can do Q and E to rotate, WSD to pan, and mouse wheel to zoom. So a game does have this right. Many times the games just do whatever they want with the keys, such as HKJL or something to move the camera. Alright, so this character, we don't see what weapon they have, but I think this one has a whip. Whips allow me to attack in 8 directions, but only in 1 range. So you would think a whip might have 2 range, not in this game. Or at least not this whip. All of these Dark Templar have poison attacks and are immune to poisons themselves. Our characters start at level 75, and the enemy starts under us, at least on story mode. But this is essentially a prologue. We're not expected to keep these characters. This unit has a shield or tome equipped. Units that have either of these can perform a defend action. Shields will block physical, and tomes will block magical. Actually, let's go ahead and just try to kill this guy. This counts as a sideways attack rather than a back attack, but I don't want to line my characters up. Okay, this one has a 2-handed sword. Hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. Family just got home. They always seem to arrive just as I start recording. Okay, what I was talking about is broadsword attack. For whatever reason, you can see there it's not actually selecting everybody to attack right now. I don't know why that is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and move right here and hit them this way. I'm not really a fan of this because I'm trying to avoid being lined up. So it's not that imperative. I'm just showing you the tactical portions of the game. And the tactical points say don't line yourself up because these guys have lances. Alright, this guy also seems to have a broadsword, a 2-handed sword. And that's why I didn't want to line up right there. Now that we've taken our first move, we have the ability to do some... No, wait, I guess we don't have enough points. Or maybe the game hasn't allowed us to as points as part of the tutorial. I understand there's a uniform jumping animation, but I would like to say that as if a character, their movement should take a certain amount of seconds. So let's say that a character can only move 3 tiles. That's to represent how fast he can move in a turn. And then maybe a unit can move 8 tiles, that's to represent how fast he can move in a turn. That should take the same amount of time rather than locking it as part of the animation. Base it as far as their movement speed actually is. That's what I would personally think is best. We're going to go ahead and take use of his ability his passive to not hurt everybody. Even though these characters are selected, his special passive is that he doesn't hurt allies. Alright, now we have unlocked the ability to cast stuff. Abilities and magic spells. Abilities are class specific, and they use TP. Magic spells are equipped to the unit, like swords and armor. This unit uses dark magic, though this is not darkness element, it's just dark magic that he has. So now we can start doing things, such as Heartseeker. Oh, that's a waste I'll do it on this guy, game. Thanks for making the tutorial use it on him. Alright, Heartseeker applies bleeding. It was not necessary in this guy who was about to die. The bar on the top represents the turn order. Turn order is based on wait time. And the weight of its current equipment. I feel like they could also make this actually spelled weight as in this, right there. I don't know. I feel like they could just, instead of, such as the weight stat, instead of wait time, a weight stat right here. It's a homonym because they sound the same. For any units other than story units, you will see 3 heart icons under the HP bar. 1 heart is deducted if the unit is killed after 3 turns of incapacitation, or if it's killed in battle 3 times, they will permanently die. You can always recruit another unit. Now we have our full broadsword attack again. Even though I don't know why. Hold on, I feel like it doesn't always show up. See, look at that. I want to do a full sweep right there. It's not based off of his spacing. Maybe it's based because he moved at one point. I don't know. Okay, well, I don't quite always understand when he does a sweeping attack, so we're just gonna go ahead and move on. Would he do a sweeping attack here? He would, but he wouldn't be able to reach that person, so that's good enough for me. On the top right of your screen, you can see information related to any tiles you're hovering over. You have elevation, position X and Y, accessibility such as walking, what kind of tile it is grass, how much accuracy we have, and the current, whether it's cloudy night. We can always change the gameplay speed if we ever feel it's too slow or fast. I'm gonna go fast. Guardian Resistance has him take only half the damage that he would normally receive, just for this turn only. This guy is using a two-handed sword, so he should be able to reach. We'll do Corporeal Massacre, which will lower the enemy's vitality, giving me a much easier time to do damage. Then we'll follow up with Heartseeker, applying bleed, and the poison is just a naturally part of my attacks. Keep in mind that it says Abyss Spirit is an unholy concoction applying strength and illuminated to myself, but also inflicts poison. However, don't forget, we are immune to poison. It doesn't heal us though, it's just something that we could do. Just gonna chill back here for a minute. We're going to attack and throw a rock. He's too close, but can I do it this way? Yeah. And unfortunately, it's just a measly 6 points of damage, and we are doing literally hundreds right now. We're going to do Stunning Strike on this guy. And now he's locked down and will never move again. Well, realistically, he's only going to be stunned for one turn, and it does stack. The issue is, I'm just going to keep stunning him at this point until he dies. Which, I guess, is right there.
And the demon arrives for its feast.
Never have I foreseen you to come for my head. Tell me, Bjorn, what madness compels you to demean all that we have built together?
Madness? No, my king. I've only ever drawn blood for Wendalle. This time, it is yours that must be shed to bring order and glory to my beloved homeland.
Ridiculous! How can the slaughter of your kin glorify your homeland?
I expect you not to understand the burden of my actions, for you have ever remained conceited by your naive ideals. To this day, you remain oblivious to the truth. The truth that you lead us to ruin.
What? How so?
You foolishly seek to unite Wendalle by gaining the trust of your dukes, ignoring that they exploit your kindness for their own ambitions. You remember not the measures you adopted to save Wendalle from the refugees? Forced order is but the sole path to forming a strong and united nation. Your forefathers understood that well, but you stubbornly refused to follow their teachings.
An iron rule will only fill people's hearts with fear and result in rebellions, as it happened with the refugees on account of my grandfather. I had no choice but to execute or banish them. Both of us lost our fathers amidst that mindless violence, Bjorn. How can you believe it still to be the correct path? All that awaits at the end of this path is but a bloodied land filled with misery.
Our fathers were ambushed by spineless cowards, and still they took a number of our foes with them. What you recall as mindless violence, I deem it fit for a lesson. Ideals seldom turn men towards good, for their hearts are ruled by greed. You see, a ruler should at each moment choose order and might over the happiness of his subjects. For happiness is fragile, and a stern hand is what holds blade firm against foes. But as you would rather pursue false ideals and leave our homeland to its doom, I shall preside over Wendalle's throne and bring order to my homeland under Azalia's banners.
Azalia, that is your ally. Bjorn, you cannot trust the Holy Empire. Are you so blinded by rage that you choose to let those savages roam free in Wendalle?
You need not worry about the morrow, for your time ends today.
Very well, I see your resolve. I shall sully not your conviction with mercy. But forget not that I fight for the fate of my homeland as well. Quvoss, burn him down! No, it seems your allies have measures in place to fight Quvoss and I.
But of course, disregarding your strength would be naught but a fatal error.
To arms for His Majesty King Edrich Alwyn!
Unfortunately, the game has mouse look. I think that's the term for it. So whenever I move the cursors around the edges of the screen, it's going to scroll the camera. And I say unfortunately because often at times I try to tuck the cursor in the bottom right so that you're not seeing it in the middle of your video. First off, we have our whip user. At least I think it's our whip user. Yeah. We can go ahead and get a hit in. Alright, let's place ourselves here. We don't want... And we can actually move forward more, but that's just going to let the enemy hit us. There's no need for that right now. Actually, we'll just stand here. Can I throw a rock? Yes. This is actually my third time through the tutorial, trying to get good footage for this. My voice is actually a little hoarse from all the shouting of the knights that they do. I don't think I can throw a rock at this range. If I wanted to, I'd have to stand maybe right here. Still too far. I don't want to stand in front of the dragon, however. So we'll just have him end his turn by doing a defend action. He can't oh, he's got a two-handed sword, that's why. Earlier I mentioned that it would be nice if it told me what weapon they had. Just at a glance I should be able to see. Unfortunately, no. I understand that the games that they're basing this off of doesn't do that, but that's no reason to follow bad techniques or mechanics that they didn't implement at the time. I am now controlling a dragon mount. Mounts are great additions to the party as they provide longer movement ranges. We can see a dragon icon in the bottom left of the screen, bottom diamond fragment. The rider will now have the mount class visible and the diamond on the bottom next to his resource stats. Mounts have their own health bar called balance points. If they run out, they will retreat from the battlefield, forcing my rider to dismount and fight on land. While units can use their own abilities, while on mounts that consume their own TP. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to read this correctly. This phrasing is super awkward, but let me restate it. Mounts have their own skill set and use TP. And this is why I wanted to leave an opening for my guys. I will say that your guys will move out of the way automatically and then return to their position if you're trying to walk through them, but you can't take up a space that they currently are on. So if I left, for example, the head knight somewhere in this region, or left this knight and put him over here, I wouldn't be able to stand on this tile. So we're going to attack. Our goal this time is actually just to vanquish the king. We don't actually have to worry about these guys. The orange bar that depletes, that's my TP. I don't think it needs to show that, because it slows the game down. If you have to show it, if the game really insists on showing it, show it along with everything else simultaneously. If I don't wish to play the battle myself, I can click Enable AI and choose a profile of attack. Some units are better suited to specific profiles, and those are always highlighted in green. You want to regain control from the AI, click Interrupt and click the AI button again. So if I wanted to enable AI, I can say like, hey, oh, this guy wants to be an attacker. But I can actually pick anything. The way I did it in Tactics Ogre was I actually just typically let the AI handle everything to give you faster gameplay. I don't know what the best way to do footage is, but I think I probably will go for the speed run of the game, essentially. Let's see here. I should probably do a stunning strike. So my first playthrough of this, I actually defeated the king as fast as I could. And then a second playthrough of this, I tried killing all the knights first. Killing the king as fast as I could, it was really the best way to go. This guy is a two-handed sword because he doesn't have defend. So if I stand here, I should be able to hit two of them. He's still got a lot of hit points, so we're going to do Corporeal Massacre, lowering that vitality. Yeah, that would hit my dragon, unfortunately. I don't think there's any way I could hit this guy without hitting my dragon. Oh, I guess the dragon could take it, so. I have a 72% chance to kill this guy. Oh, I don't have enough for charge. I need 350 TP to do that. Very well. Somebody else. The king moves next, so I guess we'll... Heartseeker. He's got several stacks of bleed and poison. Is it enough to knock him out? Nope. Oh, he just gets his move. That's how it is. I don't really like how the bottom right tooltip just keeps popping up. Or the giant skip button that appears. And all of that's unnecessary. Just assume that players know they can mash escape to get through cutscenes or something.
Leave the king for me. He is my pride.
Quvoss, hold on!
That pained look on your face for a beast. This needless sympathy is what makes you a weak ruler. The beast is but a tool of war.
I expect not a traitor to understand the value of loyalty and friendship, be it with man or beast. Come, it is time we finish this. And unfortunately, I'm actually down a unit now. The enemy's not down a unit because his has been replaced by a mounted dragon rider to just a king. We're down one, just as a matter of how the game runs. Is this my whip user? I think it is. Or was that her? Yes, this is my whip user. So we're actually going to stand right here instead. And we got to apply all the status effects once more. That includes stun, by the way. Oh, he doesn't. I don't have enough for a stun. Very well. I want to keep her from falling over, but I don't know if I... I think you are a two-handed unit. Bjorn, this. What you have chosen, Wendalle will own more graves than glory.
As ever, I shall watch over Wendalle and do right by her people. Farewell, my king. Let me take over now.
Very well. I shall accept. I am glad, perhaps, that it is you and not the others. Farewell, good friend.
I have played my part. Your banners will now fly in Lake Heaven beside Wendalle's. Our banners, Regent Bjorn, where we bask together in the divine light of our Savior, the Holy Emperor. Eror Yixin Wine. Glory to the Holy Empire of Asalia. Glory to the Holy Empire of Asalia. Zelred, stand down. That dragon is a symbol of the monarchy of the Alwyns. Letting it escape can result in a blunder. No, it is but a broken beast with no master, destined to fade away. Worry not about trivial matters, Regent, and revel in your victory while you can. You have a long road ahead, remember?
The guy drifts on out of here.
A broken beast with no master, destined to fade away, that resembles us all.
The death of King Edrich Alwyn marked the end of a peaceful era in Wendalle. Despite conflicts among the Dukes of Wendalle, the Alwyn monarchy ruled over all with respect and justice. With no heir to the crown, Duke Bjorn Rolf rose to power as regent with the Assalians as diplomatic allies. But the other dukes rejected Bjorn's rule and his alliance with Assalia. They declared independence for their own ambitions. And so began a civil war. Duke Ernan Merrick was the first to rebel against Duke Bjorn. While they fought, Duchess Elena Cosimo marched to seize the capital from the Assalians. Amidst the chaos, Duke Arsenio Duran watched the war unfold and incited the warring parties for his own ploy. By providing mercenaries and selling arms, he positioned spies to chip away at his rivals. With the tide of war in no one's favor for 2 years, the Dukes had a stalemate on their hands. Destruction and suffering had consumed Wendalle. With their people in misery, the Dukes called a momentary truce. However, the matter of succession to Wendalle's throne remains unsettled. The Dukes agreed to decide upon the next monarch in a peaceful summit. Fear and tension rise as the summit draws near. Who will guide Wendalle to its destiny? A duke, rightful of his rule? An outsider of immense power? Or a new hero chosen by the people?
If you like Crimson Tactics, it goes on sale in early access on July 25th. On this channel, there is a complete playthrough of all 3 timelines in Tactics Ogre and 2 more obscure games, Godless Tactics and Super Dungeon Tactics. If you're still hungry for more tactical gameplay, check my channel's main page, which is sorted by section. Thank you very much for Tran Plays Crimson Tactics. See you next time.